Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Capital Wasteland. Today we're going to be checking out Calverton, which is an unmarked location within Fallout 3, and I'm actually really happy that I found this location because it was really fun to explore and research. In my previous video, VAPL 84 Power Station, I saw a church on the horizon, and I went to go check it out, and I found several destroyed buildings and small shacks just beneath the hill which the church sits upon. And upon further research, I discovered this is the unmarked town of Calverton, which, like many locations in Fallout, is based on a real-world location. Obviously, here we're talking about a town, so it's based on the real-world Calverton, Virginia, which is a very small town in Virginia, only about 250 people, but pretty cool, and they paid a lot of attention to their source material. Also notably that Calverton was one of the locations that were moved after the size of the Capital Wasteland was expanded in mid-development. The old position of Calverton was in an area east of Jury Street Metro Station. However, now it is in an area west of Jury Street Metro Station. So let's check out Calverton. And here we can see Calverton on the map, unmarked, north of the VAPL 84 Power Station and southwest of the Jury Street Metro Station. And as you can see here, this is me approaching Calverton from the church that I saw at the VAPL 84 Power Station. As far as enemies, Calverton has a bit of randomness to it. The Talon Company can spawn here in the southeasternmost house. Also, there are possibilities for creatures to spawn here along the southwest road, as we see here with this Yaoguai. And I also found this dead robo-brain, suggesting that the Yaoguai perhaps murdered it. Then up in the houses, we can actually find some really good loot. So in this first house, we can find a copy of Nikola Tesla and you. But besides that, the houses don't really offer a whole lot, just ruins, obviously, from the destruction of nuclear warfare. So judging by the skeletons of these houses, this probably used to be a residential area. Then on the other side of these houses, we can find a truck, and it appears someone was living inside of this truck, but it has since been abandoned. There is a bed along with a lot of footlockers and ammunition crates in it, along with some darts, and of course a skill book, U.S. Army 30 handy flamethrower recipes. But besides that, there wasn't a whole lot in here besides some beer, so hey, that's always a good time. And then we have this billboard. I'm not sure what's on the billboard or underneath it, but there is an Enclave poster plastered over it. Then as we move further down, we can find a bunch of empty shacks. And I would assume these shacks were built in the post-war era, but they've since been abandoned. There's also a large pool of water that is highly irradiated. So perhaps something very bad happened here to the former residents, or perhaps they were just ghouls. It's hard to say as there's no evidence. But there is what appears to be a Brahmin skull in the middle of the pools of water, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then an Enclave helicopter flew over, Vertibird, as it should be properly called, dropping off a robo-brain and 2 Enclave soldiers. Now, I got really lucky here because the Enclave soldiers actually got attacked by a rad scorpion, and a lot of rad scorpions came to assist me in the fight, so I am very thankful to the rad scorpions. However, of course, we had to kill them, and I could not compensate them for their help. But hey, that's just how it rolls in the Capital Wasteland sometimes. And I do have to say, the Scoped 44 Magnum is an absolute menace and has been probably my favorite weapon so far in Fallout 3. Then, after killing the last of the rad scorpions, me and Dogmeat decided to head up towards the church. Now, on our way towards the church, we discovered what appears to be like a small canyon in the ground, or more like a small ditch, not really a canyon. But anyways, in this ditch, there's actually chances for random encounter, specifically B scenarios, so pay attention to that if you visit here. Also, there were some mole rats nearby, but yeah, they're pretty easy to kill. As we can see here, this is the ditch that I just mentioned. But for me, I didn't see anything of interest in there. And then we made our way over to the church, and a really wild thing happened here. I had a Wastelander on fire, running out from behind the church, being chased by a raider with a flamethrower. So really kind of wild and scene that I was not expecting. And then using my 10mm pistol, I gave the raider a taste of his own medicine. And then thanks to dog meat, he died. And then looting his dead body, we could take his flamer fuel, which is something that you can never not have enough of. Then as we enter the church, you're going to want to be very careful because there are several booby traps inside. At the entrance, we have a tripwire, and then on our right, there is a bench with all kinds of great loot and stuff on it, such as a mini nuke, some chems, and there's also ammunition scattered around the floor of this church. As you can see over here, there's some 10mm rounds, along with some 5.56 rounds. So really good, along with a lot of beds for you to rest up in. And there's also some bottle caps on this pedestal, and then a copy of Lying Congressional Style. Also a skull for good measure. Now you want to be careful when you visit here because after killing the flamethrower raider, you will be eventually attacked by additional raiders, probably coming back to what I assume is their base of operations. Also watch out for 2 more booby traps, and then by the toilet is a copy of Pugilism Illustrated. So a lot of skill books in this area, which are always highly welcomed in Fallout. And eventually I saw the red dots on my minimap, and the raiders were here to attack. But dog meat made quick work of them, and I found out dog meat is much better at fighting than I am. So I'm very thankful to have him at my side. And there you guys have Calverton. I really enjoyed exploring this location. I really like unmarked locations within Fallout. They just feel a lot more untouched by the rest of the wasteland, and it feels like I'm doing some adventuring or exploring on my own. Also, this church from afar just looks really cool, and then we have the really cool looking graveyard next to it. There's a very scenic area within Fallout 3. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any recommendations for the next location, please drop them in the comment section below. And, as always, until next time.